welcome. This is Caustic Cannon. So I'm deciding to throw my hat into the ring of this shit show we call America right now. I'm going to inject my voice into this conversation, just lube it up and slide it right inside this culture war. So, no one really asked me to speak up. Well, I mean, actually, some of the loudest voices out there talking about the state of the world, the U.S., our politics, the culture war, free speech, most importantly, the economy. Some of those have been asking for us to join the fray, right? So these would be folks like Brett Weinstein, his brother Eric, Brett's wife Heather Heying, even Tim Pool, the great journalist, the Amazing Atheist, one of my favorite channels. We got Kyle Kalinske. You check him out. I think he's one of the more reasonable voices on the left. Another one of those would be David Pakman. Check him out. We got, of course, Joe Rogan Podcast, biggest podcast on the face of the earth. We got Ben Shapiro too. Highly disagree with that guy, but he makes some good points. Basically, the IDW, or intellectual dark web as a whole, including Jordan B. Peterson, even though he just kind of up and disappeared, battling his addiction, whatnot, to benzos. Been there. I definitely couldn't understand that. So who am I actually? Well, I was born in the 80s. I'm a 90s kid. Grew up with fucking Ninja Turtles, man. MTV, Beavis and Butthead, badass grunge music, Nirvana, STP, fucking all them are good bands and all that shit. So, whereas I actually I'm considered a millennial, I actually, I identify with Gen X more. I had a lot of older cousins that I hung out with and who are technically part of Gen X. And I don't know, that just whole feel, kind of their sensibilities, their moral values, ideas. I more identify with Gen X. So, man, some of the shit I'm seeing out there these days from the kids and fellow millennials is just outrageous. I mean, we got to talk about this and get these fuckers out of our culture, man. They're ruining everything that we built, that's for sure. So anyways, more about me. I'm a musician, aspiring producer, business major in college, self-dubbed philosopher. But I'm just a really harsh critic of the West. Though I do recognize it's been the best in the world, like ever, like not even close. Anyways, back in 2015 is when I started getting into these ideas and following these discussions around culture and politics and all that. I was actually one of the Bernie bros in the 2016 election. I actually agreed with a lot of his economic arguments. But once he started adopting the identity politics bullshit, I mean, he fell out of favor with me real quick. So, to be honest, I have no faith in the system anymore to solve our problems. We could see with the poor handling of the pandemic and the stimulus and, the bailouts that went largely to corporations and the wealthy. We've seen the biggest upward transfer of wealth during the pandemic. It's just insane. So, the giveaways to the rich, it shows who our Congress people, elected officials really represent. So let's be clear. I am a capitalist. I just think that capitalism is broken. It's in its worst form right now. The cronyism, the giveaways. We basically have socialism for the rich right now. I've experienced poverty firsthand. I actually am in a profession where I work with hundreds of people in poverty, maybe even thousands after this many years. I definitely see the flaws of our system and how it keeps people down, and how there's, really very little opportunity to escape poverty once you're there. And I definitely see the issues of poor character and laziness, or some of these folks who have no desire to better one's own life or better their own life. But I also see a lot more who, for one reason or another, they've been dug into such a deep hole, and the system just isn't really built to escape once you're that far down. So, anyways, both sides of the political spectrum express some truths. We need to recognize that. Every side of every issue, there's going to be some truths coming from each side. This playing tug of war between the extremes, that's kind of what politics is supposed to be. I mean, we play that tug of war so we can negotiate the best solutions. But, I've also seen that, past several decades, this just doesn't work anymore in Congress. I mean, it's so divided. It's really just about opposing the other side. It's all about playing the game. It doesn't seem like any of them are interested in actually solving any problems for regular people anymore. So, people, if they were to classify me politically, they'd probably say I am a liberal. And, I would even say I am a progressive, or what most would call a classical liberal, seeing as how liberal and progressive, those terms have really just been overused, applied, and clouded, and just totally taken out. They don't even mean the same thing anymore. So I see the excesses of the far left, having kind of come from the left and even entertaining some of the far left ideas. I definitely can see where a lot of the folks on the far left are coming from. However, I mean, just a little bit, a little bit of learning, a little bit of reading, you find out quite quickly how toxic and just absolutely insane horseshit a lot of it is. I definitely can see the excesses of the far right too. I mean, most of us can classify and recognize, groups like the neo Nazis and, claims of racial superiority. We all understand that that's like when the right goes too far. But again, right now we have the left that who we see obviously going too far, and I would say they're playing the same racial superiority games, gender superiority, sex superiority, fucking sexual orientation superiority, trying to hold these different folks who tick the boxes of intersectionality, holding them up on pedestals while at the same time saying that they're incapable of being successful, or the system's just going to keep them down. It's like we can't have it both ways. I mean, you're either oppressed or you're special. Right? So let's fix that thinking there. Anyways, so I sometimes, I side with Republicans, as the left and the corporate Dems, who I think pretend to have the same social views, go way too far. The things like we've heard lately: abolish the police, burning down or tearing down institutions. We see people actually burning buildings down. Folks on the left saying they seek to destroy the West and destroy capitalism. I mean, come on. Like, you don't have to know much about history to know that the alternatives, communism, is obviously a failed ideology, failed economic system. So, it's got to be capitalism or nothing else. I think we just need to kind of talk about how we expect capitalism to work for the everyday person. But, some of the other things they're bringing in, like the whole cancel science, labeling science as a tool for white Western countries and only one way of knowing truth. It's like, oh my God, people, you're so fucking stupid. The tools of science can be used by any and all cultures. That's why it's successful. That's why we can come up with just evident truths of our world and how it works. You don't challenge physics by saying, hey, I jump off of this building because, and I'm not going to die because my beliefs and my culture say otherwise. I mean, come on, you're going to smash against the ground and fucking die. So anyways, calling the U.S. a white supremacist nation and all whites are born with privilege, and which is this new original sin in the new DIE religion, diversity, inclusion, and equity. You only have to follow Mr. James Lindsay, to see, a true, like, takedown and study of this ideology, and, where the logical conclusions it comes to, or illogical, I should say, to kind of see where this is going wrong and why it's so dangerous. So, anyways, that's all for now. We'll look at more of these issues impacting us, and some of the ideologies run amok in current year. I hope to get to know more of you out there. I hope you can learn more about me, and that we can learn more from each other. I'm doing this to learn and will be wrong a lot, I'm sure. But that's okay. We can be wrong. That's okay. So, anyways, until next time, talk to you guys later.